Hello and welcome to Channel 8 Sports. Ryan Williams, soon to be joined by Scott White. Today, we're on the outside pitch of J. Doyle Field at East Brunswick High School. It's a classic boys soccer matchup between East Brunswick High and St. Joe's. The Bears come in with a record of 9-1, facing their heated rivals, the St. Joseph's Hawks. It's about 55 degrees out here today, cloudy skies, and the face-off coming up right after this. Both teams completing their warm-ups on the field. East Brunswick in their home white uniforms, St. Joe's the Hawks in their visiting green. Back in goal for St. Joseph's, Jeff McSavage in goal. For the Bears, Christopher Zangarando. St. Joe's controls on the near side. Steve Halo trying to work it. Broken up by East Brunswick. Now cleared towards midfield, Greg Slater. Ball goes out of bounds as E.J. Zaforski tries to save it, but it will be a St. Joe's throw-in. Brian Erkstein waiting for his teammates. Into the box, cleared nicely by the East Brunswick defense. The starting lineups today for East Brunswick: Joseph Merkel, Greg Slater, E.J. Zaforski, Joseph Condurso, Mattia Bufalino, Justin Smutko, Lewis Kimmel, Gerard Forma, Daniel Meckelberg, and David Barrett. East Brunswick controls in their own end. Barrett on the near side. Barrett working a give and go, trying to move it up. He takes a dive, no call, and Brian Ubas sends it in for the Hawks. Working on the near side, Andy Hiller sits, and that'll be cleared into the stadium on the near side for a Hawk throw, and set to take it, Brian Erkstein. Erkstein waiting for his teammates. Headed towards the box, now cleared as Jeremy Weil gets ahead on it. And here's a shot that goes way high through the goalpost. First scoring threat by either team goes wide. Now for St. Joe's, Jeremy Weil, Imra Varga, Brian Erkstein, BJ Smith, Rob Kleepax, Brian Ubas, Kyle Bartlett, Andy Hillerzitz, Will Labor, and Steve Halo. Lewis Kimmel trying to keep it in for East Brunswick. Sends it up for Mattia Bufalino. Bufalino loses it, now clears it near side, looking for one of his teammates. Ball will go out of bounds, and it'll be a throw-in upcoming. Set to take it, Kyle Bartlett. East Brunswick in the game with a 9-1 overall record, a very fine season, competing in the GMC Red Division, as do the St. Joseph's Hawks. This, of course, is a heated rivalry, the second time these two teams have met this season, as they always do, playing a home-and-home series. Ball up around midfield. Setting to clear it, Daniel Meckelberg. Now St. Joe's with an opportunity. Jeremy Weil controls, looking for Labor on the right side, and he can't control. Hillersitz does keep it in, sends it in, looking for Kleepax. On the right side, beats a defender, and now an opportunity, looking for Weil, but headed away nicely and cleared on the far side. One touch, Bufalino looking for his teammate on the far side, goes out of bounds. Crowd of a few hundred people on hand here today at J. Doyle Field. Ryan Williams here, soon to be joined by Scott White on our coverage of East Brunswick High School soccer. Ball sent in the box, header towards net, and it's picked up by Christopher Zangarando. First time Zangarando's really had to face a save situation today. Ball last touched by East Brunswick. Throwing up coming, Kyle Bartlett for the Hawks. Waiting for his teammates. Zangarando in goal is a senior. As the ball went in, Zangarando picks it off the cross. Good job by Chris. Punt taken up around midfield. Cleared by St. Joe's, Will Labor. Both teams now trying to control in their own end. Merkel gives it up And a little miscommunication right there, and it will be a Hawk throw-in. Set to take it, Andy Hillerzit. Controlled by Ubas. And now he loses it. Ball up around midfield. East Brunswick trying to put pressure into their own attacking third, unable to do so far. Kleepax sends it into the box, and once again, Zangrando out-jumps everyone. This time we'll roll it out near side, plays it to Daniel Meckelberg. Meckelberg, a senior, fullback. Last touched by St. Joe's, throw-in upcoming for Barrett. Plays it in now, here's an opportunity. A couple players there, and the ball goes way high and wide right as a couple players for East Brunswick had an opportunity in there. Greg Slater, E.J. Zavorsky among them. Goal kick upcoming for the Hawks. We've played about 5 minutes of soccer so far, no score. East Brunswick against St. Joe's. Trouble on the goal kick, East Brunswick with an opportunity. Chip in by Bufalino, trying to hit his striker on the right side. Slater turns the corner, hits a teammate, shot, and then it's knocked away by St. Joe's, but it will be a throw-in for the Bears. On the near side, set to take it is Barrett. Barrett clears out a lot of real estate on the near side, on the track. Set for the throw-in. Sent into the box. Header missed. Now a little chip shot picked up by Max Savage. So Max Savage's first save on the afternoon. He'll punt it up around midfield. 50-50 ball goes out of bounds. It will be a Hawk throw-in. Kyle Bartlett once again steps up to take it for the Hawks. One bounces it into Weil and plays it back to Bartlett. Bartlett chips it over midfield, controlled by E.J. Zavorsky. Through ball sent. Two attackers, 2-on-2 situation. Nice slide tackle from behind. And it will be an East Brunswick throw-in. Zavorsky once again to take it. He's a senior striker. Interested in playing collegiate soccer right now. Among his top choices, Rutgers and Georgia. Of course, Rutgers soccer right here in the backyard of East Brunswick, a perennial power in men's soccer. East Brunswick playing it in. All their players into the attacking third. Can't get an opportunity off, and it's cleared. Now controlled. Kimmel gets a foot on it. And now East Brunswick will have to track it down as it just crosses the midfield line. Throw-in upcoming for Justin Smutko. He'll send it in and cleared by Kleepax. He'll send it back looking for his teammate B.J. Smith, but he'll have to give way to East Brunswick. This ball rolls out of bounds on the far side of the field. No score. We've played 8 minutes. St. Joseph's and East Brunswick doing battle here at J. Doyle Field. A little wind today. Shouldn't affect playing conditions too much. Here's an opportunity and shot that goes into the goal. St. Joseph's gets the first goal. 31:48 to go in the first half, and the Hawks are on top. 1-0. A one-on-one opportunity there. And Zangrando just got beat. The ball scooted past his left side and just tucked in inside the right side upright. So St. Joe's leads 1-0. Still plenty of time for East Brunswick to regroup. Meckelberg controls, sends it up looking for Bufalino. Bufalino, he's got a 1-on-2. Jeremy Weil got that goal for St. Joseph's. As East Brunswick now applying pressure in their own attacking third. Slater with an opportunity. Now played back in by Meckelberg. Plays it right corner for Slater, trying to turn the corner. Gives way to Ubas, still doing battle. And Slater with a nice pick, sends it in, and a shot and a diving. Stop, the sweeper was there for St. Joseph's as Slater did a good job in the near side corner. Now the throw in. This time it'll be Barrett. Barrett sends a chip shot in towards the box, header on net, and just goes wide to the left. So East Brunswick applying a lot of pressure on goal here as they trail 1-0. It'll be a corner opportunity, and Joseph Condurso set to take it for East Brunswick. Condorso, a junior, sends it into the box and cleared once again by the sweeper. Still controlled, chip shot towards the net, header. Control, trying to get a foot on it is Saforsky. And the St. Joseph's Hawks defensive unit doing a nice job. East Brunswick trying to play it in. Still in their own attacking third. It's finally cleared by B.J. Smith, but played back in to Meckelberg. Meckelberg will send a pass. Right wing, one touched by Saforsky. Can't control. Once again, Meckelberg will head it back into play. East Brunswick applying a lot of pressure on goal. 29:30 to go in this first half. It's St. Joseph's 1, East Brunswick nothing. Zangrado will try and regroup his squad. Give his offensive players a quick breather as his punt will go out of bounds. It will be a Hawk throw-in. Will Labor to take it. Sends it in, controlled far side. Now here's a pick by East Brunswick, sent up around midfield. Joseph Merkel got the foot on it, but it did roll out of bounds. Yet another Hawk throw-in. Merkel, again, can't control. Meckelberg clears it up around midfield. The middle third of the field played by Barrett. Barrett tries to send it in, goes off the chest of Brian Erskine, off of a Hawk player, and now the throw-in comes to Condurso. Condurso plays it on the right side in the box, trying to turn the corner, and he's working on Labor, sends it in, knocked back out. Playing catch with Barrett, and once again, it'll be cleared. But East Brunswick doing a good job applying pressure, just haven't been able to knock home a goal as of yet. St. Joseph's leads 1-0 on the goal by Jeremy Weil, 28:05 to go first half. Barrett with a long throw in towards the box. Header on net, goes wide right. Last touch they're going to say by a St. Joseph's player, so a corner kick opportunity for East Brunswick. On the near side corner, as Meckelberg will take it. Right-footed kick towards the box. Cleared by St. Joe's. Played in by Barrett. He'll lose it. Merkel gets a foot on it, and it goes out of bounds. It will be an East Brunswick. No, check that. They're going to change their call. St. Joseph's will have the throw-in. Labor takes it. Far side. Headed up by Kleepax. Controlled by Justin Smutko. Last touch by Smutko. Once again, a Hawk throw-in. Played back in the East Brunswick defensive third. Merkel sends it up toward midfield looking for Buffalino. And he will lose it. Bartlett loses control. And now we'll play it back into his own end. Ball out of bounds. East Brunswick throw-in set to take it. Daniel Meckelberg. Again, East Brunswick applying pressure, but the Hawk defense doing a pretty good job. A very stingy unit. But East Brunswick continuously applying pressure. 26:10 to go first half. St. Joseph's leads 1-0. Ball knocked around in the Hawk defensive third. Trying to get a foot on it is Forma. Forma sends it off left corner, looking for Saforsky. Saforsky Working one-on-one with Hillersitz, trying to turn it. Plays it with himself, sends it in the box, headed away by Erskine, and then finally cleared by Halo. Merkel doing battle in the far side, trying to keep it in. He can't, and a Hawk throw in. Set to take it, number 15, Andy Hillersitz. Now he'll give away, that's Imra Varga, number 4. He'll bounce it in to Hillersitz, play it back, ball out of bounds. But once again, the throw-in will come to the St. Joseph's Hawks. Free kick opportunity now for the Hawks. About 35 yards out. The East Brunswick defense gears up. And a good job of clearing it, and then a collision. As now there's an opportunity for East Brunswick. One-on-one, and we're gonna have a whistle and a call. It will go East Brunswick way. As on the play, Greg Slater had an opportunity, but he was just being ridden all the way downfield, and now it'll set up a free kick opportunity for East Brunswick. They trail 1-0. This could be a key point in the game to see if East Brunswick can capitalize. We've played 15 minutes, and the Hawks lead 1-0 on the goal by Jeremy Weil, but now East Brunswick with an opportunity. Ball placed about 30-35 yards out. It'll be David Barrett set to take it. 4-man wall for the Hawks. Ball over the wall, well high and well too far, out of bounds, a goal kick for the Hawks. So the Hawks survive a scare. Substitutions now into the game as Robert Longo, number 16, checks in. He's a 5'7", 150-pound midfielder, a sophomore. The Hawk defense continuously doing a good job clearing the ball out of their own defensive third. Meckelberg one-times it up, looking for a teammate on the near side, Buffalino, but he'll have to play it back to Meckelberg. He loses the ball, but it does go out of bounds. It will be an East Brunswick throw-in. Meckelberg to take it. Sends it in. Flick towards goal by Buffalino, but once again cleared. That time, Will Labor stepped up for the Hawks. Ball around midfield. Jeremy Weil, he has the lone goal in the game so far. Tries to split the double team. Can't do it. And now a slide tackle and a whistle called. Free kick for East Brunswick. Meckelberg, once again looking for Buffalino. Can't find him. Saforsky has a chance. And now taken away as Condorso lost it. Condorso gets it back. Now Weil boots it to the far side. A foot race. As Longo, who just checked in, had an opportunity to play it. And now on the far side, ball out of bounds. But it will be a throw-in for East Brunswick. Longo over there, set to take it. First substitution we've had in today's ball game. Throws it in towards net, trying to play it to Kimmel. Kimmel can't control. And a Hawk player down hard. That's Weil. Tries to get up, limp it off a little bit. And he looks to be okay. Nonetheless, ball will go the other way. 21:40 to go, first half. Hawks on top of East Brunswick, 1-0. We're here at J. Doyle Field at East Brunswick High School. A field notorious for its crown in the middle of the field. You see a lot of balls around midfield rolling out of bounds as the field kind of builds to a peak and then rolls off to either side. The East Brunswick defense will let the ball roll back to Zangarando, and he'll send it up around midfield. Once again, Hawks trying to keep it in. Player down for East Brunswick. And a call going against the Hawks. So another free kick opportunity, as that time Joseph Condurso hit the turf. Condurso is a junior. Made the state select team for 4 years. A varsity player since his freshman year. Ball sent up, looking for Slater. Slater does a good job of keeping it in, but he'll have to give way. The ball's cleared out of bounds by the Hawks. And once again, a throw-in as Forma gives way now to Slater. Slater looks to send it in. He does so back to Meckelberg. Meckelberg towards the box. East Brunswick still on attack. Nice chest trap by Kimmel, trying to keep it in. But a call will go against East Brunswick. And it will be Hawk ball with a free kick coming. Set to take it, Will Labor, as he brings it all the way out, about 35 yards out of his own goal, to set play back in motion. Strong right-footed kick. Cleared. And now East Brunswick with an opportunity. Saforsky loses it. They had a 2-on-2 developing, just couldn't find his teammate, and it's picked off. Now Klepax has it, gives it up right side for Hillersitz. He'll dump it off. Chekhov sends it in towards the box. Meckelberg gets ahead on it, tries to clear. Weil with an opportunity. Plays it. Header flick towards net once again. Bounces around. Saforsky tries to clear. But it'll be sent back in by Brian Ubas. Ubas looking for Hillersitz. Working on Merkel. In the box. Dangerous opportunity. Hawks with a chance. Shot off the hands of Zangarando, and he'll get it back off of his own defensive player, and Zangarando comes up with a save. Quickly clearing it on the far side. Kimmel tries to keep it in. Now sent up, knocked away. And a 3-on-3 for East Brunswick, but it's cleared. But it would be a bare throw-in opportunity. Stepping up to take it, Joseph Merkel. Once again, East Brunswick will have it. Merkel's a junior. He's played soccer for the past 11 years, past 2 on the New Jersey State Select team. Controlling it is Jared Forma. He'll give it up. Merkel will control. Dumps it off to Meckelberg. Meckelberg looking in the middle of the field for Zaforsky. He can't race it down, and it's cleared. And now the Hawks with an opportunity. Meckelberg will play it in his own end and clear it almost out of bounds. And there will be a stoppage of play. They'll say it did go out of bounds. It looked like East Brunswick had kept it in. There will be a throw-in. Set to take it, Kyle Bartlett. He'll dump it in the Weil. Weil tries to play it back to Bartlett. Meckelberg does a nice job of breaking that play up. And the ball sent towards midfield, looking for Saforsky, but it's taken away and controlled by Condurso. Condurso left side, Longo now with it, but he can't control. And it'll be Hillersitz with a throw-in. Ball in the middle third, knocked around. Meckelberg will just let this one roll out of bounds. And East Brunswick will have a throw-in. Meckelberg a little bit winded as he bends over. Now he's going to tie his shoe. Gets official time. 16:50 to go first half. St. Joseph leads, East Brunswick 1-0. Ball played, East Brunswick has it midfield. Cleared by Imra Varga. Varga looking for Weil. Almost a handball, not called. And now Hillersitz comes up with it. Hillersitz doing battle with Longo on the far side. Ball last touched by East Brunswick. It will be a throw-in for the Hawks. Merkel controls. He'll just one-touch it out of bounds. As the Hawks will have an opportunity. Ball in the box. Little chip shot that goes over the net. So the Hawks had another opportunity. It's always dangerous to have a throw-in or a corner kick in that area, of course. That throw-in about 10 yards off the end line. Very difficult for a goalkeeper to mark both the near and the far posts. East Brunswick will control. Forma has it in his own end. He'll give way. The Hawks looking for Weil. Weil seems to be the big gun for St. Joe's today. He already has the lone goal, and his teammates continuously try to find him. And a push and a shove as Weil hits the turf. E.J. Zaforski not too happy with the call, although he did give him a little bit of a shove from behind. And a free kick opportunity, Brian Ubas. Referee's trying to sort things out. A two-man wall for East Brunswick as Ubas sends it in, blocked off the wall and controlled by East Brunswick. Ryan Williams along with Scott White here at J. Doyle Field. 1-0. St. Joe's leads East Brunswick on the goal by Jeremy Weil about 12 minutes or so into the game. East Brunswick had a few opportunities shortly thereafter, but now neither team really with the momentum. Ball mostly being played in the middle third of the field. East Brunswick can't keep it in. It will be a Hawk throw-in. As you see, Brian Ho in the game. He checked in a couple of minutes ago, number 12 for East Brunswick. He's a 5'5", 135-pound striker. He's a senior.
Bryant, along with many of the other seniors and players on this club, noted as his expectations for the season, win the GMCs in the state. So this team is really focusing on the GMC tournament coming up in just about a week. For East Brunswick, only 2 regular season games remaining on the schedule, that being away at North Brunswick and then away at Woodbridge, and then next week, starting the 25th of October, the GMC tournament.
Certainly postseason on the minds of both of these squads. This is a key game. East Brunswick, of course, 9-1, as we mentioned, on the season. As Merkel tries to clear it. Now he does. Up around midfield. Ho gets ahead on it, but can't control. Weil, the top offensive player for the Hawks, trying to get in on it, and it's sent in by Ubas. Ubas gives it up. Bartlett controls, trying to send it in, but Merkel once again comes up with it. Merkel's been all over the field today. Seeing him playing aggressively, both offensively and defensively. Of course, he is a defensive player, but he's snuck up there over midfield a few times, trying to help out this East Brunswick offense. Ball in the box, and Zangrando will scoop it up. He hasn't had to face too many opportunities so far today. Of course, the goal that did get by him. A couple of other shots, but for the most part, this big game's been played in the middle third of the field. Merkel slips as he tries to get a foot on it. Little push from behind. That one will be called. B.J. Smith a little bit too aggressive for the Hawks as he pushed Merkel. And a free kick upcoming for East Brunswick.
Joe Merkel, a sign of things to come. You mentioned his name a couple of times today as he seems to have been controlling a good deal in the midfield and helping back on defense. Joe Merkel, only a junior. This East Brunswick team, predominantly seniors, but there is building potential for the future as they are carrying a number of juniors and even a few sophomores on this year's club.
Hawks control on the far side. Merkel once again tries to play it, and he will clear it once again. Played back into the defensive third for East Brunswick. Ball towards midfield, goes out of bounds. As Greg Slater, who really caused a lot of problems for the Hawks as far as attacking the goal. He's on the bench right now, so he was replaced by Ho. But it looks like Slater will check back in sometime in the very near future. Coach Dan Haston probably just trying to give him a little bit of a rest. Here's a 2-on-3 opportunity for East Brunswick. Condurso takes it on the right side. Push from behind, slips and falls. Goal off the post. Now it's still controlled by East Brunswick. Finally cleared. on the far side by Rob Klepax. Good opportunity for East Brunswick. They just came away with nothing as they had a 2-on-3, and Condurso tried to sneak it past as Jeff Max Savage had dived, had gotten a little bit out of position there.
Good opportunity for East Brunswick, as you noted. Max Savage trying to cut off the corner, covering the near side post, lost his footing in the backfield, an open opportunity for East Brunswick, but the St. Joe's defense coming up big, clearing out the box.
Headed away by Smutko, trying to keep it on the far side, trying to play it in bounds. Last touched by Hillersitz. A couple of substitutions now, as Zaforski's back in the game, Slater's back in the game, so really the top two guns for Coach Dan Hastings' Bears are back in there after about a 5-minute breather or so. Under 10 minutes to go first half. St. Joe's still on top, 1-0 on the goal by Jeremy Weil. Buffalino trying to turn the corner, plays it up.
East Brunswick stringing together a good series of passes here on the near side, trying to methodically bring it up the near side of the field. St. Joe's stepping up and clearing it away, breaking up a good series for East Brunswick.
Zangarando will play it off about 30 bounces. Haven't seen him punt too much today. He's really been trying just to wing the ball up or around midfield. He's punted a few times. Trying to mix things up a little bit. There's an aggressive slide tackle.
Chris Zangrando, the senior in goal for East Brunswick. Behind him, fellow by the name of Ben Kartzman, only a sophomore. Another thing to look at when you look at the building potential for this team in the future. A sophomore goalkeeper is always a good thing to have in the wings. He's had some experience playing at the varsity level this year. Certainly will help in the future.
Hawks with the ball. Throw in towards the box. Played off the back of B.J. Smith. Now an opportunity as Zangrado comes out, clears it, has to fight to get back to position. Now Weil with a shot that goes wide left. Dangerous play though, as Zangrado had come out of the goal box, had slipped a little bit, did a good job of clearing it, but was way out of position there as Weil had regained possession for the Hawks, but to no avail.
St. Joe's with a good opportunity with just about 8 minutes left in the first half. St. Joseph's up 1-0 over East Brunswick. St. Joe's in the green away jerseys moving from right to left, and East Brunswick in the home white jerseys moving from left to right on your screen.
East Brunswick trying to work a little bit of a give and go. There's a push and a no call as Weil comes up with it for the Hawks. Nice line tackle by Slater, and he'll give it up on the far side of the field. Merkel sends it in to the box, looking for Buffalino. Buffalino and a sliding save by Jeff Max Savage. He's gotten lucky a few times. Very aggressive goalkeeper for the Hawks.
Buffalino looking upset with himself. He had the opportunity there with the half volley right in front of the net, right-footed. He just couldn't get to it as it was just a little bit in front of him. When he attempted to lunge, the keeper was out and in his face. A really good setup on the far side. Merkel running the overlap and then a good cross into the box. An opportunity for Buffalino. East Brunswick keeps knocking like this with 7 minutes remaining in the first half. There's a good opportunity. They can put a point on the board before going into the locker room.
Certainly the goal of Dan Haston and his coaching staff to try and knot this one up before we reach the half, which is about 6:45 away. Mecklenburg controls.
Appeared to be a handball against St. Joe's. The referee opting to call that one. The ball was kicked and bounced off the St. Joe's player, but the referee decided that did affect the play of the game and called it against St. Joe's, so East Brunswick had the direct kick.
Condurso sends a left-footed pass, looking for teammate on the far side. Pushes and shoves and all kinds of incidents happening there, but the call will go against East Brunswick.
So East Brunswick with another opportunity now. 3 good opportunities in the box in the last 3 or 4 minutes. As we just said, Coach Dan Haston really trying to put a point on the board. There's a big difference going into the locker room with a 1-0 deficit than tying this game up, going in 1-1. You come out second half and it's a whole new ball game as if you had a 0-0 score.
East Brunswick once again takes away the 50-50 ball. Done a good job trying to control the midfield. Now the chip shot, Bufalino trying it, playing with his back to the goal. Sent in by Barrett. And now a shot that goes wide left. McSavage made a diving attempt for it. He didn't need to, as the ball could not find the back of the net. Wide left, but now a corner kick opportunity for East Brunswick.
Another opportunity for East Brunswick. Bufalino again in the box, unable to turn, as he did have you noted, his back to the goal. He was unable to make the spin move and get a shot off. A couple of East Brunswick players coming up from the midfield to help him out, but unable to do so. So that ball will roll over the end line. So now East Brunswick with a restart opportunity, corner kick.
Sent in towards the box, and McSavage plays it.
Right into the hands of the St. Joe's goalkeeper. No challenge from East Brunswick. You know, East Brunswick doesn't have that many opportunities from the corner. That would have been a good opportunity to challenge the keeper and, you know, see what he's made of in the goal box there. But East Brunswick opting not to do so. East Brunswick now in control in the offensive third of the field.
Meckelberg sends it up for Condurso. Headed back in. Barrett gets a foot on it. Cleared towards midfield. Zaforski now gives way to Merkel. Merkel trying to split the double team, sends it in. Header flicked in. Bufalino with an opportunity. But once again, McSavage will run out of goal and scoop it up. 4.5 minutes to go first half. 1-0 St. Joe's on the goal by Jeremy Weil. Ryan Williams, Scott White with you from J. Doyle Field at East Brunswick, with a home crowd trying to get behind their Bears.
In what typically is a rival between East Brunswick and St. Joe's year in and year out. Both clubs play both home and away. East Brunswick already at St. Joe's earlier in the year. Now the home opportunity for them. Always a big rivalry. A lot of East Brunswick players or East Brunswick residents opt to go to St. Joe's. Builds into the rivalry. Some East Brunswick players that play club ball with some St. Joe's players off the field now have the opportunity to play against one another. Builds into the whole rivalry.
That's an interesting thing about high school soccer. There's so many club teams and so many different schedules that people who are teammates on one team end up facing each other as opponents on another, and that makes it that much more interesting as McSavage once again comes out of goal just in time to scoop up the bouncing ball. Certainly hard to go from being teammates and friends to going against playing against each other when sometimes there's hard feelings towards one another. I guess they try and remain friends, but it makes it very difficult, especially when you see him in the offseason and a guy that you kind of give a cheap shot to the first time you played him, and now all of a sudden he wants you to pass him the ball. Makes it very interesting. East Brunswick controlling. Meckelberg. And he's stripped on the near side. Pass given up for Bartlett. Bartlett will play it over. Finds Ubas. Ubas with an attack from behind and a nice pick as East Brunswick controls. Ball sent. Condurso. Got a 2-on-2. Condurso working in the one-on-one. Can't control. Ball goes out of bounds. Nice defensive play by Will Labor. Quickly sent in on the throw-in. Shot towards net. Off the foot of Barrett. Once again, McSavage jumps high to make the save.
Condurso wasting no time with 3 minutes remaining in the first half. Puts that ball quickly into play before the marking backs get back to pick up the midfielder that came down to assist in that play. So a quick inlet pass on a throw-in for Condurso. East Brunswick with an opportunity, unable to capitalize, but knocking on the door.
Now the Hawks the other way. Ball goes out of bounds off the foot of Meckelberg as the Bear mascot trying to get on the Hawk player. Ball sent in towards the box, and there was a push. And it'll go the other way.
Referee calling a timeout, possibly because the clock never started. Even a series back, there was no start on the clock.
The official time is going to be kept on the field for the final 3 minutes as predetermined in the game by the referees. The official time is actually on the field as Zangrando scoops it up. An interesting decision right before game time. They made the announcement that the official time being kept by the referees, the clock was going to stop at 3 minutes.
Very interesting. Can't quite understand the motive behind that.
Not quite sure myself. I guess it makes it that much more interesting for the fans when they're not exactly sure how much time's left to go in the half or in the game. would tend to be a little bit confusing.
Certainly changes the momentum on the field with East Brunswick players not knowing whether they're dealing with a minute or 10 seconds. St. Joe's in the same situation. Now, they do have the 1-0 advantage, but when it comes down to the end of the game, could be a factor that determines the final outcome. Very curious as to why that is. Check on that one for you at halftime, and maybe second half be able to update you as to why the official time for the final 3 minutes is kept on the field.
We certainly will try. Around a minute or so to go in this first half. St. Joseph still with the 1-0 lead. East Brunswick trying to mount an attack here in these closing minutes of the first half. It'll be cleared by Labor up around midfield. Ball sent in by Wild, looking for his teammate, Ubas. Headed away and now controlled by Meckelberg. And that'll do it for the first half.
First half, 1 goal, the only goal called this half for St. Joe's. St. Joe's picking up that goal, Jeremy Weil, at the 12-minute mark. So St. Joe's leading for the last 28 minutes of the first half. St. Joe's on top of East Brunswick, 1-0, and it's halftime right now. So any final comments on this first half before we take a break?
Well, Scott, it seemed like in the first half, as the play was developing, after the Wild goal by the Hawks, it really looked like East Brunswick came out very aggressively over the next 5 minutes or so, had a couple of opportunities. Max Savage, the goalkeeper for the Hawks, was able to come up with a few saves. And then after that, the rest of the game, the rest of the first half, seemed to be played in the middle part of the field, neither team with an advantage.
So that'll about do it for us for the first half. East Brunswick behind St. Joe's 1-0. We'll be back with second half action in just a moment. And welcome back to J. Doyle Field for second half action. St. Joe's, the visiting team, East Brunswick, the home team. East Brunswick in the white uniforms, moving from right to left on your screen. St. Joe's in the visiting green uniforms, moving from left to right. St. Joe's with the 1-0 advantage and the kickoff. Referee calls back. It appears as if the East Brunswick players broke off the circle before the ball was touched, so St. Joe's will have another restart. Putting it into play for St. Joe's, that's Rob Klepax. Klepax drops it back across the backfield. St. Joe's working it up the middle. A slow kickoff, not sending it right up, bringing it back to their players and trying to set something up on the near side. East Brunswick stepping up to break it up. Brian, you saw most of the first half, and I arrived with about 15 minutes left in the half. So far, would you say both teams are playing pretty even?
Yeah, I think if any team had the advantage in the first half, it was probably St. Joe's. On a slight advantage, of course, they did get the goal by Jeremy Weil, but also seemed like their defense really stepped it up. East Brunswick had a few opportunities, but the Hawks' defense came through, and Jeff Max Savage in goal. The few opportunities that he really was challenged did come up. Made a few risky decisions on his part, but it's all worked to his advantage at this point.
East Brunswick stepping it up the final 10 minutes of the first half in the offensive third of the field, putting a couple of shots on goal. Making the St. Joe's keeper really work in the backfield. St. Joe's coming up and holding the shutout thus far, as we now have about 38 minutes remaining in the game. St. Joe's has a 1-0 lead.
If you look at the midfield, East Brunswick has really done a great job controlling the midfield section, but in the offensive third, although they've applied pressure to Max Savage and the defensive unit, there seems to always be a Hawk defender there at the right place at the right time to thwart any offensive opportunity for the Bears.
Conderso will challenge on the near side. St. Joe's will quickly clear it up the line and over the midfield stripe. St. Joe's on the attack now. St. Joe's looking for a corner man, making a run. No one breaking, so East Brunswick will step up and try to take control for East Brunswick. That's Justin Smutko chasing it into the corner. That ball will roll over the end line, and the referee signaling a corner kick for St. Joe's.
Only about, I believe, the second corner for St. Joe's today.
About 5, 6 St. Joe's players in the box with the opportunity. That ball will be quickly cleared out by East Brunswick. No shot on goal for St. Joe's, but St. Joe's will try to take control at about 30 yards out. Unable to do so, that ball will roll out of bounds. Up with the throw-in for St. Joe's, Imri Varga. Varga with the throw-in near side, about 35 yards out. Quickly put it into play, looking to try to string together a couple of passes on the near side here. Now turning it up For St. Joe's, Rob Klepax will be sent on net. First save of the second half for East Brunswick. Coming up quickly, Chris Sangrando clearing it out with the throw. As you noted earlier, we haven't seen him punt too much this afternoon, opting mostly to throw the ball out. East Brunswick in control on the far side, looking to bring it down the far touchline. St. Joe's stepping up to break up the series. 2-on-1 East Brunswick. East Brunswick will take control of that ball, roll out of bounds. Joe Merkel will come up with the throw, and he'll drop it off to a teammate. It'll be thrown in over the head of the East Brunswick player, and St. Joe's will control it. That ball will roll out of bounds as, again, it's always we see the crown on this field. The ball that'll roll close to the touchline, or end line for that matter, will roll out of bounds. This field's not really designed with soccer in mind. It is a football field that's used for soccer. Both coaches, both Dan Haston and the women's coaches, Lucosa and Brian Merrigan, always complain that it is difficult to play on this field because of that crown.
Little collision there as Forma got into it a little bit, and then a little shove afterwards by Varga. And Forma not too happy about the altercation, as he will both get shoved to the ground and lose possession on the play. So Jared Forma expressing his displeasure with the officials today.
36 minutes remaining in the game. As we noted at the end of the first half, we mentioned that the clock stopped at 3 minutes, and we were curious as to why. So at halftime, we checked with the officials, and they said that the official time is kept on the field, and so as not to create a situation where a goal could potentially be scored with no time remaining on the clock, when in fact the official has more time remaining on his clock, which is the official clock. To prevent that, he said both coaches agreed before the game that the official time would be kept on the field for the final 3 minutes of play. East Brunswick with a good opportunity now just outside the 18-yard line. An infraction against St. Joe, so East Brunswick will have a direct kick about 20 yards out, just off center, far side. The referee walking the wall back a little bit, giving the player his 10 yards. St. Joe's holding the wall at about 11 yards out, preventing any East Brunswick player from getting on the near side of the goal, which would put him in an offsides position. East Brunswick with the opportunity. Quick nudge and a shot, far side. That ball will roll over the end line about 10 yards wide. So East Brunswick with an opportunity, unable to put the ball on net. St. Joe's coming up big on that play. Good opportunity for East Brunswick to tie the game up. So now St. Joe's will have the goal kick.
EJ Saforsky had taken that opportunity, as you saw, kind of holding his hips a little bit, a little disappointed in himself. As we mentioned, Zaforsky, the senior, who mentioned his goal coming into this year, very bluntly, to win the state. Certainly high aspirations for the senior striker.
And a team now that's going into postseason play really in a good position and a strong command, with a regular season final so far at 9-1, I believe it is, with only 2 games remaining on the schedule. They have this game, so you know they're really going into postseason with a strong record in regular season. Many of the players have signified that their main goals for the season is winning the GMCs, their county tournament, and the states. Certainly a possibility for a team that's had a successful regular season thus far. East Brunswick now in control at about the midfield. The ball will come over to the near side. Greg Slater in control at the midfield line near side. He's gonna try to send it on a breaking pass, looking for Jared Forma. Forma sending it up the line for Joe Condurso in the corner. Condurso trying to turn it and cross it in the middle. He'll roll it across the end line. St. Joe's keeper will come up with it. St. Joe's keeper will punt that ball about 40 yards. Ball dropped just short of the midfield line. St. Joe's trying to control it, but unable to do so. Far side in control for East Brunswick, Joe Merkel. Merkel looking up, long service into the box. No East Brunswick attacker making a break. So again, the St. Joe's keeper out of the net and coming up with it. Quick clear to about the midfield line. Again, coming down with it off the head of Greg Slater. Slater unable to maintain control. Stepping up for St. Joe's, that's Rob Klepax, but that ball will roll off his arm, and the referee will call a handball. So East Brunswick will put it into play quickly, wasting no time near side. Jared Forma Formal looking to send it up the line, unable to do so. St. Joe's will take control, quickly clear it out, but East Brunswick regains control. Greg Slater makes a run across the center of the box, dropping it in the middle for E.J. Zaворowski, unable to control. That ball will be cleared out by St. Joe's. Merkel makes a run on the far side, tries to control it for East Brunswick. In a little trouble, dumps it off to the far side. Dave Barrett in control now. Barrett trying to string together a quick give and go. He'll look to the center of the box. That ball intended for Mattia Buffalino. Buffalino unable to get to it. Cleared out by St. Joe's. 31:52 remaining in this game. St. Joe's has the 1-0 edge over East Brunswick.
East Brunswick certainly the last couple of minutes applying a lot of pressure on net as Brian Ho checks into the game for East Brunswick, and now we have a down player. It was after the play had stopped. Ho was going to check in regardless. He had been waiting on the sideline for a couple of minutes. Waiting to check into the game as now the trainers trot onto the field with a couple of teammates. Can't really see right now who the fallen player is. Can't even see exactly what could be wrong with him. He's kind of overall grimacing in pain, not really holding a specific area. Perhaps just got the wind knocked out of him.
Head coach Dan Hastings comes onto the field to check with his player. Able to get a number. 31:33, the clock stops at. As you mentioned, over the last few minutes, East Brunswick stepping it up in the offensive third of the field, knocking a couple of opportunities, a couple of shots on goal for East Brunswick. You know, with a half hour remaining in the game, they need to start thinking that, you know, we're not fighting against the clock yet, but with a 1-0 deficit, playing a very strong team, they need to start knocking now.
Zaforsky, E.J. Zaforsky comes up limping as right when the medical card came out to greet him, he made it back up onto his feet and now walking off under his own power. Certainly very good to see as the medical staff and the coaching staff now trots back to their normal positions. As we mentioned, Brian Ho did check into the game. He came in the first half as a substitute. Now he's back in there. He's an extra potential goal scorer for the East Brunswick Bears.
Quick throwing into the box, a long throw almost over the head of the St. Joe's goalkeeper. That ball almost thrown practically into the net with a couple of East Brunswick attackers waiting there for a rebound, unable to really knock anything on it. St. Joe's keeper coming down with it and punting it out again.
And Buffalino was there for East Brunswick. Had it gone over the hands of Max Savage. But East Brunswick not that fortunate.
East Brunswick now without E.J. Zaworowski. Zaworowski has scoring potential for East Brunswick, looking at Rutgers and Georgia's potential schools. East Brunswick can't afford to lose him right now as they head into the postseason. An East Brunswick fan would hope that the injury isn't anything that would keep him out beyond maybe this game. East Brunswick certainly looking to possibly get him in this game again as they are down 1-0, and E.J. Zaworowski with the goal scoring potential. East Brunswick near side, Greg Slater losing it to the St. Joe's marking back. That ball will be cleared out, but quickly sent back in by Joe Merkel off the head of Merkel. That ball sent back and off the head of an East Brunswick marking back. That ball will roll out of bounds. St. Joe's at the throw-in near side. You see in front of your screen, E.J. Zaworowski up off the bench walking around a little bit. It's a good sign to see that he is walking around, and maybe he will check back into this game for East Brunswick. East Brunswick now with the direct kick near side at about the midfield line for East Brunswick. That's Dan Meckelberg. Meckelberg will send that ball into play. No East Brunswick attacker really around for it, so a lost opportunity for East Brunswick. St. Joe's will control it. Clearing it out for St. Joe's, that was Will Labor. That ball will roll over the touchline far side.
It'll be interesting to see, Scott, what type of factor the weather becomes in this game as the wind certainly increasing, blowing from the far side to the near side of the field and getting very, very chilly out here. We started the game right around 55-degree temperatures. It's probably dropped at least 10 degrees since then. Storms coming from either direction. They'll get the game in, but it'll be interesting to see as players start to get a little cold, perhaps cramp up a little bit. And certainly it doesn't aid Zaforsky on the sidelines as he came out with the injury. And if he's going to try and stretch out and get ready to re-enter the game, that makes it that much more difficult given the cold weather conditions.
With cold weather always comes the opportunity, so to speak, for more injuries, something that neither team really needs right now in particular. No team ever needs injuries, but when you're heading down the final drive into postseason, you don't want to be losing any of your significant players. With only 2 games remaining on the schedule for East Brunswick during the regular season, the GMC tournament starting next week, and then the state tournament starting soon after that. Neither team really looking to get hurt in a match when, you noted the temperature drops, the opportunity exists for pulled muscles and that sort of thing that comes with the cold weather. St. Joe's with the restart. Far side, about 45 yards out. Long service into the box, a header, and that ball roll into the goal. Goal for St. Joe's. A long service coming out of the goal. Chris Zangrando for East Brunswick, unable to grab that ball down. That ball will bounce off the head of a St. Joe's attacker. So at 28:35 remaining in the game, St. Joe's goes up 2-0.
I think they're going to give the goal to Kyle Bartlett, but I'm not exactly sure because he was in there in the middle of all the activity. I have to wait and see who the official scorer is, but either way, 2-0 now, St. Joe's on top, and with E.J. Saforsky out of the game already for the Bears. It's going to be tough to make up that 2-goal differential. Still plenty of time to go, though, Scott. 28 minutes to go in this second half. That's a lot of soccer left to be played.
Uh, 2-0, a significant goal differential in soccer. It's the point of the game. Always a two-point deficit or a 2-point advantage. Could go either way.
It was Bartlett picking up that goal.
Kyle Bartlett getting credit with the second goal for St. Joe's, as I was saying. Now, if East Brunswick could quickly get back into this and put a ball on net, making it 2-1, they're only down by a 1-goal deficit. But if on the flip side, St. Joe's could put another one into the net, that's a 3-0 deficit and really puts the game much further out of reach with less than a half hour remaining in the game. So 2-0, a very critical score that really could bounce either way very quickly.
And we see one of the East Brunswick backup goaltenders warming up. Benjamin Kartzman playing catch along with Russell Nord, both of the backups.
Also up off the bench is Rob Longo, looking to check in possibly soon. Longo and Kartzman standing right next to Coach Haston, possibly checking in for East Brunswick. Ball will bounce over the touchline. St. Joe's with the throw-in near side, about 45 yards off the end line.
Not a good sign, Scott, if 27 minutes to go and you're contemplating a goalie switch already. As I said, a 2-goal differential is certainly tough to make up, but certainly with 27 minutes to go, plenty of soccer left, and if you can put 1 goal up on the board, that changes the whole complexion of the game.
For either team.
Exactly.
Either team putting 1 more goal in, and the game could either be, a new game, so to speak, or a game that's pretty much over. And here come the substitutions for East Brunswick. Number 16, Rob Longo checks in. And going back to the net, we believe that's Ben Kartzman checking in for Chris Zangrando. Chris Zangrando giving up 2 goals this afternoon, one in the first half to Jeremy Weil, and one just a few moments ago at the 28:35 remaining in the game. Kyle Barrett beat him off a header. So East Brunswick at a 2-0 deficit. Coming off for East Brunswick in place of Rob Longo is Jared Forma. East Brunswick now in control about 30 yards out. St. Joe's stepping up and clearing it out to the midfield. For East Brunswick now in control near side, Dan Meckelberg. Meckelberg looking upfield to the center, trying to finding Bryant Ho. Bryant Ho sending it far side. East Brunswick unable to maintain control. St. Joe's will try clearing it out. That ball will roll over the touchline about 25 yards out. East Brunswick with throwing. Something that we should mention coming into today's game, the all-time record between St. Joe's and East Brunswick is 25 wins for East Brunswick, 19 losses for St. Joe's, or 19 wins for St. Joe's, I should say. 25, 19, and 4 is East Brunswick's all-time record against St. Joe's. A rather close record, a team that plays continuously every year, 2 games a year. No team really has much of an advantage. East Brunswick with the 6-game advantage, but St. Joe's leading with the 2-goal advantage in this game, 25-45 remaining in the game. In control near side for East Brunswick, that's Dan Meckelberg. He'll send the service into the box. St. Joe's pushing off that time. No call going against Will Labor. St. Joe's clearing it out. Stepping up for East Brunswick, far side Joe Merkel. He'll send that ball into the 18. Close to it, but East Brunswick unable to control that ball, roll out of bounds. Goal kick for St. Joe's.
As we mentioned, Scott, coming into today's contest, East Brunswick was 9-1 overall, trying to reach that 10-win plateau. The last time they failed to win 10 games, 1982. So 10 straight years of 10-plus wins, and trying to make it 11 as the all-time record. East Brunswick, 404 wins, 138 losses, 39 ties. Just an unbelievable soccer program at East Brunswick High School.
Head coach Dan Haston comes in coaching this team already for his 11th season. And coming into the season, he had 173 wins, 40 losses, and 9 ties. Certainly a very respectable record for any coach. A St. Joe's player down around the midfield.
It's going to be B.J. Smith. He looks to be okay, helped by a couple of his teammates, but Smith a little shaken up on the altercation.
173 wins for Coach Haston, looking possibly to pick up 185 this season if he could pick up the win today and the two regular season away games ahead of them in the next couple of days. Coach Dan Haston could finish this regular season with 185 wins, and then with postseason play could potentially pick up a few more. St. Joe's knocking on the door, far side, coming out of the net. That's Ben Kartzman up with it. Ben Kartzman opting to punt, as opposed to Chris Zangrando, who threw out most of the time. Kartzman clearing that ball up to about the midfield line. East Brunswick in control, far side. East Brunswick will bring it back across the middle, switching fields, carrying it all the way across the field, and looking to turn it in. East Brunswick with an opportunity about 20 yards out. Bryant Ho trying to take a shot, unable to really get a shot off. St. Joe's will take control, clearing it out for St. Joe's. It's Rob Klepak sending it over the midfield line, looking for B.J. Smith, the St. Joe's player that recently went down. Smith now on the far side. Joe Merkel in control. Merkel will drop it off. Midfield line will come all the way across for East Brunswick. That's Greg Slater there. Now Bryant Ho coming over to help. Ho will quickly take the throw-in, but the referee calling that ball rolled off of. Nope, the referee calling a timeout because Dan Haston wants to make a couple of substitutions. Checking in for East Brunswick, Scott Rosenthal, Mitch Brown, and it looked like Dan Guriello. Coming off, Bryant Ho and Joe Merkel, unable to pick up the third number. So East Brunswick making a couple of substitutions, 3 substitutions with 22:44 remaining in the game. East Brunswick down 2-0. Dan Haston looking to change the strategy potentially, as he has now another player getting up to check back into the game.
As Jared Former was the other member of that triumvirate who checked off the field of play. So certainly Coach Haston trying to mix it up, find someone with some goal-scoring potential. A lot of these kids obviously come in with near equal abilities on the high school level. It's just a matter of trying to play the hot hand, or in this case, the hot foot, and certainly switch it up a little bit, try and get a new mix in there with the cold weather, try and get some guys a little bit of a breather, and send in some new players who might be able to better control the flow of the game.
Also looking for the right combination, not only the right goal scorer, but the right combination to set up or string together a good series up front and create something in the box. So far, East Brunswick not really having any good scoring opportunities this second half, really not testing the St. Joe's goalkeeper very much. They turned it up toward the end of the first half, putting a couple of good shots on net, but the second half unable to do so. Coach Dan Haston sends in some new goal scorers to try to put some points on the board. East Brunswick at a 2-0 deficit with 21 minutes remaining in the game.
Well, they're not goal scorers yet. They're just potential goal scorers.
He's hoping
certainly would hope they would become goal scorers. That was the plan. Have to wait and see if it comes to fruition or not.
Not only changing the offense, but just a few minutes ago, bringing Ben Kartzman into the goal, changing the defense in the backfield, replacing Chris Zangrando. East Brunswick now in control at the midfield line, Dave Barrett. Dave Barrett looking upfield, unchallenged. He'll send the ball into the corner. Chasing it down, Scott Rosenthal. Rosenthal unable to control. St. Joe's now takes control far side in the corner. For St. Joe's, Imre Vargas sends it upfield. East Brunswick stepping up to break up that pass. East Brunswick sending it across the field, not finding a player. St. Joe's clears it out over the midfield line. Now chasing back for it, Dan Meckelberg. Meckelberg keeps it in play, steps over, turns around, tries to beat the one player. Unable to do so, he runs out of room on the field. That ball will roll out of bounds. Throwing for St. Joe's. For St. Joe's, Andy Hilrigs with the throw-in. Infraction called against East Brunswick, so St. Joe's will have the restart. A direct kick about 20 yards, 25 yards out of the goal. For St. Joe's, B.J. Smith over to take the kick. East Brunswick holding St. Joe's at around the 18-yard line. Cartsman summing up the situation. He's going far side post, trying to cut the angle. Calling out signals to his defenders. The East Brunswick players in the wall, particularly Greg Slater, really angry that St. Joe's is using this to their advantage to kill some time off the clock. They got the 2-0 advantage. They're going to kill time off the clock. So that ball is sent in for St. Joe's by Will Labor. Making a run is Andy Hillreichs. But St. Joe's not getting the goal, but able to do something else, able to take an advantage, playing against the clock. They were able to knock almost a minute's worth of dead ball time off the clock. East Brunswick not happy with that, but now East Brunswick with under 20 minutes to go and a 2-0 deficit against St. Joe's. Quick throw in near side for East Brunswick. Scott Rosenthal making a run onto it. Scott Rosenthal gets goal side, unable to control the ball. Cleared out by St. Joe's, near side at the midfield stripe. St. Joe's looking to string together a give and go, broken up by East Brunswick's Greg Slater. Slater in control, dropping off near side for Dan Guriello. Guriello sending it into the middle. Unable to find Scott Rosenthal, stepping up from the midfield. Rob Longo for East Brunswick. Off the head of Slater into the middle of the field. Cleared out by St. Joe's. St. Joe's now in control, sending it over the offense, sending it over the midfield line. St. Joe's not really looking for a player, just sending it upfield for St. Joe's. That was Rob Klepax. Klepax losing the ball on the errant pass. East Brunswick controlling for a bit, but St. Joe's now on the attack. St. Joe's forming a 3-on-2, a one-on-one pretty much with the goalie, and a shot and a goal. Goal for Andy Hillreichs, beating the 3 Rutgers defenders, and Ben Kartzman with the goal.
So now 3-0, the Hawks on top of East Brunswick. And the clock is continuing to run here at East Brunswick. The clock will not stop on the goal. Now they will about 9 seconds after the fact as Hillreichs beat the East Brunswick defenders. Maybe they're future Rutgers defenders, I'm not sure.
Possibly.
Not on that opportunity.
A couple of these players saying they're looking to go to Rutgers, but very true. Beating the East Brunswick defenders. We sometimes cover Rutgers soccer on other days, so beating the East Brunswick defenders. St. Joe's with the 3-0 lead now. 18 minutes remaining in the game. As you mentioned, a couple seconds did click off, and when I spoke to the officials at halftime, that was one of the things that they mentioned, was that no one was really watching the clock. Part of the reason they were keeping the clock on the field. On the first goal, they said if you watched, about 30 seconds clicked off before the clock timekeeper checked in and stopped the clock.
But I can see how you could get confused between Rutgers and East Brunswick because St. Joe's and St. Joseph's, I mean, they're both the Hawks. They're an Atlantic 10 team, of course. As you look up and down this East Brunswick roster, a number of players list Rutgers or other Atlantic 10 schools as possible places to play for them. Of course, certainly a lot of New Jersey players on that Rutgers team that you talked about. Rutgers, of course, a top 10 team this season. A couple of local products that Rutgers has taken from their backyard, so to speak. Certainly always looking for that local talent to shine on the banks of the old Raritan.
Vic Tartara, an East Brunswick prodigy, picking up a game-winning goal just this past weekend against George Washington, and Vic Tartara also picking up a game winner about a week ago. So Vic Tartara, an East Brunswick product of the '92 class,
absolutely
playing on the banks for Rutgers, as well as Ryan Daly, an East Brunswick product from the class of '91. Out injured for the season, but also on the Rutgers squad.
Tartara, of course, with the game winner against Southern Methodist University in the Adidas MetLife Classic tournament last week. So Tartara has seen a lot of quality time, a former East Brunswick standout.
Tartara's younger brother, Luigi, currently on the junior varsity club right now, possibly seeing some varsity action in the future. East Brunswick now down 3-0, 16:20 remaining in the game. St. Joe's with the advantage. East Brunswick throwing far side. Scott Rosenthal with the throw-in. Ball will quickly bounce off the head of the East Brunswick player, Brian Toe, out of bounds. St. Joe's throwing. St. Joe's in no hurry to get the ball into play as they have the 3-0 advantage.
And as you mentioned, 3-0. Talking about that before, that extra goal really makes all the difference at this point. 3-0 is virtually an insurmountable lead in soccer, especially 16 minutes to go, and getting down by 3 goals now with a bunch of different players in the game. It's certainly tough to get the confidence back and really you seem to press a little bit too much, trying to make everything happen at once and try and get back all 3 goals at one time, and you know that can't happen, and that usually gets caught up in these players' minds to try and, oh, now we have to get the ball on net, we have to score, and it turns out that it works in just the opposite way.
The referee stopping the clock coming over, and he's reaching for his cards. Looks like a yellow card will come out of his pocket, and yes, in fact, we do have a yellow card going against East Brunswick with the push-off. I guess he's calling that as a violent push-off, so checking out of the game on the near side for East Brunswick. That's Mitch Brown checking in for him, Joe Merkel. So Mitch Brown in high school soccer, when you get a yellow card, you need to check out for at least one play. So Brown coming off the field. Something else that happens, you mentioned that the players are looking to get back the goals. The intensity level has stepped up and the frustration level has stepped up. You see some deficiencies on the field and some violent plays that may not necessarily have occurred earlier in the game, but now with the whole rivalry thing going down 3-0, the referees really need to take control and make sure that the situation doesn't get out of hand.
Yeah, because this is the type of situation, and not saying that it's going to happen, but where the game can get out of hand a little bit. The point 3-0, that almost becomes not really the most important factor, because the game is so out of hand that players just start looking, and there's usually a little bit more shoving, a little bit more pushing, perhaps some harsh words on the field, and some bad things can happen. So the referee's doing a good job trying to nip it in the bud, as it were, trying to stop it as soon as it happened. If you see a play like that, maybe first half, maybe it's not a card, maybe it's just a warning. In this situation, make sure that it's known that, hey, this has got to stop.
It's twice that St. Joseph's done that same play on the far side with the throw-in. St. Joseph's player goes, picks up the ball, attempts to do a throw-in, then changes his mind and leaves it for Brian Upas, as if Upas was going to take the throw-in anyway, but it's a good opportunity for them to knock some time off the clock. East Brunswick now with an opportunity, near side making a run, E.J. Zavarowski. He's going to send it far side, trying to beat the goalie who's on the near side, but that ball rolled wide, about 5 yards over the end line. Goal kick for St. Joe's. So as we were saying, St. Joe's, with the last 2 times I've noticed, they've gone to take a throw in. A St. Joe's player will go over, pick the ball up, and then leave it off for Brian Upas, who will come over and throw it in. Good opportunity to get some ticks off the clock, as right now also taking their time setting up the goal kick in no hurry with the 3-0 advantage. 13 minutes remaining in the game.
Yeah, EJ had a pretty good opportunity on that one. He had a step on the defenders. They kind of closed the gap a little bit. Of course, he's the player who checked out only about 6-7 minutes ago with that injury. So he's good to see him back on the field, running around a little bit, getting loosened up, and he had an opportunity. Probably had he been into the game for about another minute or so before he would have had that opportunity, perhaps the result would have been different, but he had just checked back in, and it's really tough to get your legs underneath you in such a short amount of time.
He does appear to have a slight limp. He'd go off, you said it just a couple minutes ago, with an injury. It's good to see him back in the game. So East Brunswick now with an opportunity, near side about 20 yards out. Direct kick on goal, and that ball will fly through the uprights. Unfortunately, not worth 3 points in this game, so that ball will be a goal kick for St. Joe's.
Would have tied it up right away. As Max Savage just kind of pointed up, it was like, yeah, it's over me. Very cocky in goal at this point. Of course, I guess you can be cocky if you're up 3-0, only about 12 minutes to go. One of the few times that East Brunswick has found itself down in any game this season. Certainly not used to trying to come back from a 3-0 disadvantage. But as we said, this is one of those type of games where throw the records out when the games are being played. As you just mentioned that time, Andy Hillersitz, who would have appeared to have made the throw in, gave it off for UBash. But as I was saying, this is the type of game where the records can be thrown out. It's such a heated rivalry that it doesn't really matter.
Very true, and it's a series that continues every single year, 2 games every year. So this year, it appears as if the game goes down like this, it'll be a 1-1 split. East Brunswick picking up the first of the 2. East Brunswick picking it up on the away field. Now St. Joe's coming here and picking up the win on their away field. So
that's the same type of situation that I was talking about. Really, home field, record-wise, talent level, really doesn't apply in this type of situation. These are grudge matches. These kids know each other. We talked about that a little bit before. A lot of them former teammates of each other on club teams or on recreational teams. They know each other very well, know each other's playing styles and tendencies, and they probably kid each other a little bit next time they meet, oh, you know, the St. Joseph players will certainly not let the East Brunswick players know and live it down that, you know, right now they have a 3-0 advantage. So it's the type of rivalry that just progresses every year due to the fact that a lot of the St. Joseph's players are East Brunswick natives, and certainly that fuels it because some of these people are former neighbors of each other. So certainly that's a situation where talent doesn't necessarily dictate the outcome of the game. It's just maybe one play here, one play there, and all of a sudden that changes the whole pace of the game.
That being a push off on the 50-50 ball going against East Brunswick. So St. Joe's again with a restart opportunity, a good opportunity for them to slow the clock down, taking their time setting it up. Again, we see Brian Upas taking his time, dropping the ball down. He'll opt not to take it.
There's a surprise. Milking the clock for everything it's worth.
Which will stop in about 6 minutes. As we mentioned, the final 3 minutes officially kept on the field, so East Brunswick players not having the clock to look to. East Brunswick now in control at the midfield. That's Condurso. Condurso brings it up over the midfield, coming from behind. St. Joe's Imre Varga steals it. No communication for East Brunswick. Imre Varga taking control. He'll send the ball into the middle of the field. Looking for an overlap on the near side was Andy Hillreichs. Hillreichs picked up the last goal, but he'll be called offside. So East Brunswick, knowing that they're playing against the clock, quickly puts the ball into play. Near side, East Brunswick controls. Ball will roll up the line, looking this time for E.J. Zaворowski. St. Joe sending it back into East Brunswick's defensive third of the field. East Brunswick now trying to control that midfield, sending it up, looking for Condurso, unable to find him. St. Joe's will step up and clear the ball out of bounds. East Brunswick throwing the near side about 45 yards out. East Brunswick making a couple of substitutions. This time coming in for East Brunswick, Mike Nacht. So Nacht coming in, Zaworowski stepping off, and Zaworowski still limping on the sidelines. So he went back into this game not up to 100%, still with an injury, unable to find the back of the net. So he comes off, and East Brunswick down now 3-0 with 8:22 remaining in the game. East Brunswick trying to control it on their own defensive half of the field. East Brunswick now brings it up over the midfield line, controlling near side was Dan Meckelberg. Meckelberg unable to control. St. Joe's now makes a run. In the middle, it's Andy Hillreichs. Hillreichs heads it to the far side, looking for St. Joe's midfielder. Hillreichs making a run into the center of the goal. He heads it, beats the goalkeeper, and that's a goal for Andy Hillreichs. Andy Hillreichs picks up the goal, beats the goalkeeper, Ben Kartzman, and Hillreichs gets his second goal of the afternoon and the fourth goal for St. Joe's. 4-0 St. Joe's with 7:41 remaining in the game.
Adding insult to injury at this point, as Hillreichs, with a great individual effort, kind of falling down, sliding a little bit, maintained his balance just enough to knock it in past the goalkeeper.
He beat Joe Merkel, the marking back on the far side. Merkel now steps out of the game, and then Kartzman coming off his line, trying to control it, unable to do so. They had an open net and nudged it in for the fourth goal of the afternoon. St. Joe's 4, East Brunswick nothing. St. Joe's in the green uniforms in control. Far side of the field at the midfield line. Decent crowd of St. Joe's fans on hand on the far side. A good maybe 40 St. Joe's fans traveling with the team. St. Joe's not having a football program. Soccer being their prime sport of the fall season.
We see that in the case of Philadelphia Textile in men's collegiate soccer, the same type of situation. Soccer is the #1 sport at that school, therefore throngs of people show up, and that is a very tough place to play.
Exactly, that's the fans rally behind their players. St. Joe's fans pretty loyal, especially in soccer, traveling with the team, bringing a banner and everything with them on the far side. East Brunswick with a decent crowd on hand for an afternoon soccer game, maybe 75 fans on hand on the near side, plus East Brunswick with the cheerleaders out, so decent crowd for East Brunswick's game. Always a rivalry, East Brunswick and St. Joe's. East Brunswick down now 4-0 against St. Joe's. They'll have the throw-in on the near side. Not wasting any time, quickly into play, Dan Meckelberg will send it in on the throw-in. Condurso sends it to the middle of the field. Stepping up from the backfield, Justin Smutko. He'll try to put a shot on goal. It'll go wide and high, so that ball will be out of bounds, and St. Joe's with another goal kick. 6:15 remaining in the game.
It's already been 25 seconds since the ball rolled out of bounds, so St. Joe's certainly milking the clock, and it's a full 35 before they send it back into play.
Will Labor will send that up to about the midfield line. This time, Rob Klepak's in control on the touchline. That ball will roll out of bounds. Klepak's looking to take the throw-in, but the referee says it's an East Brunswick throw-in, so East Brunswick will throw it in quickly, not wasting time. In control in the middle of the field for East Brunswick, Brian Toe with the quick header. Looking for Conderso making a run into the box. East Brunswick unable to control. St. Joe's quickly clearing it out over the midfield line. Stepping up from the backfield, East Brunswick now takes control in the middle of the field. Going far side for East Brunswick, that's Brian Toe in the corner. Looking for some help, two St. Joe's defenders stepping up in the middle, and an opportunity for East Brunswick.
Gunfire from the woods, from the grassy knoll, off to the side there. Actually, it was firecrackers that some fan just set off.
Believe that was the loyal St. Joe's fans.
Wow.
They seem to be rather happy with their team this afternoon. St. Joe's looking to pick up the win. St. Joe's allowing time to roll off the clock.
Looking to pick up the win and looking to give me a heart attack.
Another goal kick cleared over the midfield line. East Brunswick stepping up near side, sending it quickly over the midfield line. Ho in control near side. Ho taken down by the St. Joe's player. Referee's going to call that one a trip. East Brunswick with the direct kick, about 35 yards out, near side. St. Joe's taking their time to allow that ball to get into play. The referee signaling that he's stopping the clock, so he stops his official time on the field. That ball served into the box. Opportunity for East Brunswick, no one there. Conderso tries to get a foot on it. He's unable to do so. As the St. Joe's goalkeeper comes out of the net and pulls it down. That's Jeff McSavage. He'll clear the ball over the midfield line. A bouncing pass. St. Joe's sending a long ball. No one really close to it. The closest player about 20 yards off at B.J. Smith, but St. Joe's not really concerned about picking up another goal, just concerned about keeping the ball out of their defensive third of the field. East Brunswick tries to send it up into that defensive third, unable to do so, and we're going to have a jumping in called against East Brunswick. The East Brunswick player jumping in against the St. Joe's midfielder who really stood his ground. So St. Joe's now with the restart at the midfield line, again taking their time as the clock ticks down to just over 3.5 minutes.
In just a little bit, we're not going to be able to give you the time left in the game because we certainly are not on the field of play high above
J. Doyle Field.
Absolutely.
Will Labor sending it in to play. Will Labor doing all the goal kick and restart duties from the defensive half of the field for St. Joe's this afternoon. This time we have a penalty going against St. Joe's, so East Brunswick will have the restart far side of the midfield line. They'll quickly put it into play, but sacrificing the accuracy for the quickness, they don't find a player, so St. Joe's takes control, rolls over on the near side. East Brunswick with the throw-in at the midfield line, going over to take the throw-in, Dan Meckelberg. Meckelberg looking to find a player. He's going to drop it straight down to the ground for Ho. Ho with the header back. East Brunswick now in control, middle of the field. Greg Slater makes a run. Slater taken down. The referee's going to call an infraction against St. Joe's, a tripping possibly. East Brunswick with the restart. Direct kick about 30 yards out, dead center of the goal. East Brunswick with another opportunity to at least put a goal in the back of the net. East Brunswick almost conceding defeat now, the 4-0 deficit and under 3 minutes remaining in the game. It would be nice for East Brunswick to at least to go away and know they weren't shut out by St. Joe's.
Absolutely. It's certainly just a good feeling to get one goal up on the board, no matter what the final score is.
And I think that will do it. I think the referees who kept the official time on the field will call that a game. So that will do it for the East Brunswick St. Joe's second game of the year. East Brunswick picking up the win in the first game. This time St. Joe's coming back, playing in the away field and picking up the 4-0 win over East Brunswick.
Certainly today St. Joe's proved that home field not necessarily an advantage, as was proven in the first meeting coming way back on September 30th when East Brunswick picked up the win on the Hawks home field. This time St. Joe's returns the favor and knocks off the host Bears.
Quick scoring recap. East Brunswick not picking up any goals this afternoon. St. Joe's with 4 goals. Jeremy Weil on the first goal about 12 minutes in. Kyle Bartlett picked up the second goal also in that one coming in the second half. So East Brunswick going into the locker room a 1-0 deficit coming out in the second half. Kyle Bartlett picking up the second goal, 2-1 for East Brunswick. And then with the third and fourth goal, Andy Hillreichs picking up 2 goals toward the end of the game to put this game away 4-0. So that will about do it here at J. Doyle Field. The final score, 4-0, St. Joe's over East Brunswick. East Brunswick with 2 regular season games remaining, and then the postseason tournament. For our technical staff, Dave Ambrosi and Peter Cantamassa, and Ryan Williams, our play-by-play analyst for the first half and assistant for the second half. I'm Scott White, saying thanks for joining us.